Welcome to Reading Multiple Choice, Multiple Correct, practice set number 1. As we just discussed in the introduction of this question type, you'll see a passage on your screen and then you'll have to answer a question based upon that passage. You'll be given a number of choices, and in this type of question, more than one choice will be correct. So you have to identify all the correct choices. But please remember that there's a negative marking in this type of question. So if you pick a choice which is not correct, you'll lose a mark. So make sure that doesn't happen. All right. Um, Now, in the reading section, there's an overall time limit. There's no time limit set for each particular question. Okay. But in our practice, I'll give you 90 seconds. If you need more time, you can always pause the video. Uh, but make sure that you don't take try not to take more than 3 minutes. So, and if you take more time in one question, also try to uh, take lesser time in the other questions, okay? Because you have to balance it overall. Let's go ahead and start our practice with question number 1. All right, that's 90 seconds. If you need more time, you can please pause the video. That's fine. So the way we go about answering this type of question, uh, the very beginning, you should read the question. So, in this question, according to the text, which of the following statements can be concluded about the Nordic model? So that means that when you read the passage, you have to read for information on the Nordic model, and then you have to compare, which of those choices are correct. After that, what you do is, you quickly have a look at the passage first, so that in which paragraph they're talking about what, and then you return to the question and look at each of those choices. Okay, so by the time you know that what they're talking about in the second paragraph, what the third paragraph is about, what the first paragraph is about. So when you look at the options, then depending upon what the option is, you can then go to the right place in the passage and confirm your choice. All right. So for this question, the what they asked us was, according to the text, which of the following statements can be concluded about the Nordic model? So we read that, and the correct answers were first, fourth, and five. So the first sentence, Nordic model is a type of welfare state. The fourth one, Nordic model encourages gender equality. And fifth, according to the Economist, Nordic countries have good governments. So what you have to do is, you have to make sure that each of these statements is valid, has been mentioned explicitly somewhere in the passage. So the very first paragraph, it talks about support for a welfare state, and also uh, mentions that emphasis on maximizing labor force participation, promoting gender equality. So that confirms first and fourth option. And the fifth one, according to the Economist, Nordic countries have good governments. So that's described in the second paragraph. So that's why those are the correct choices. When you look at the second sentence, Nordic countries do not have anything in common, right? But the Economist, it says that the what are the different things which are common. So, for example, it says that Nordic countries are probably the best governed in the world. So, combination of extensive public provision of welfare, culture of individualism. So, all those things are common. So, that means the second option is not correct. Third one, Nordic model applies to all countries in the same way. The third paragraph, it says that, however, the Nordic model, however, is not a single identical set of policies in every country. So that means it's not applied the same way to all the Nordic countries. So that's why the third option is the wrong option. So the correct choices are first, 4, and 5. So uh, whether you mark a choice as correct or whether you decide that it's wrong, your decision should be based upon the information that has been explicitly provided in the passage. Don't use your own judgment. Don't try to draw your own conclusions. Okay? Don't be in a hurry. Don't rush to make decisions. Make sure that your choices they are based upon the information in the passage, and that way you'll do it well. Okay, so that was a good start. Let's go to question number 2 now. All right, that's 90 seconds. As I said earlier, you can definitely take more time than this if you need. Just pause the video and then come back once you have completed answering, but make sure that you track how much time you are taking. Okay. Now the question here was based upon the text, which of the following are correct? So you had to uh, check that which of these following options uh, and compare them with the information in the passage, and then tell which of the following options are correct. So uh, quickly, if you go through the the passage first, just skim through it from top to bottom. You'll know that it's about the economist, and then it gives a general introduction. Then this talks about the audio edition, about the writing style or the article style, and then some other sections. So after that, once you have quickly skimmed through it, you would know which information is where. Now the correct options were third and fourth. Okay, how did we get that? First, let's look at the first option. The economist focuses mainly on world events and politics. And now we know, when we skim, we know that this information is right in the beginning of the passage. So we go there. And it says primary focus is world events, politics, and business. Yep. But in this option, it says world events and politics doesn't include business. So that means this is incorrect. So that's not our choice because we have to pick the correct options. Second one, The Economist provides an audio edition to the subscribers only. Now we know that this is information is in the second paragraph, so we go there. And it says the weekly 130 MB download is free for subscribers and available for a fee for non-subscribers. But our option says that it's available to the subscribers only. But what it actually is, that it's to the subscribers, it's available free, but the others can also have it. It's also available to others, but for a fee. So this option is not correct. Third one, the Economist tries to maximize information provided in an article. Now, that's there in the third paragraph, the first sentence, which just says that adopt a tight style that seeks to include the maximum amount of information in a limited space. So that's correct. Fourth, The Economist has a special focus on statistics. That's there in the last paragraph where it says tables such as employment statistics are published each week and there are special statistical features too. So that means it has a special focus on statistics. The last option, the Big Mac Index was invented by McDonald's. Now, the last paragraph says that the Economist is known for its Big Mac Index. So, the Economist invented the Big Mac Index, not McDonald's. So it's a wrong option. Okay. So the correct choices are 3 and 4. Um, please compare your responses with this. Which ones did you get right and which ones did you get wrong? And hopefully, if you got something wrong, now you know why it was wrong option. So I would like to point your attention to the first and the second option. So the first option, it is correct, right? But it's not the complete information. Okay, so that's why we didn't pick it. The second one provides an audio edition to the subscribers only. So see, this is very similar to the correct option, but in this case, they've just put an audio, sorry, only in the end. So that changes the meaning. If you are in a hurry and if you don't, you know, um, check the information against what's there in the passage and make sure that it has to match it exactly, not just approximately or not just similar to it. It has to be exactly. If you don't do that, then you will end up making mistakes. So please don't do that. All right, so that was question number 2. Let's go to question number 3 now. All right, that's 90 seconds. You can take more time if you need. So generally, these passages they are a bit lengthier compared to the multiple choice single correct options. So it's fair that you take a bit more time if you need to. Just make sure that overall it should be within the reading section time limit. Now the question here was, according to the text, what are some of the limitations of the Big Mac index? So with that question in mind, when you quickly skim through the passage, you know that right in the beginning it starts talking about the limitations, and also explains that in the subsequent two passages. Now, uh, in the passage, sometimes uh, synonyms will be used. So instead of, let's say in the question they might ask you limitations, and in the passage they might say something like a shortcoming. Okay, so but those are similar words, so you should be able to understand the meaning, right? Um, okay, now the limitations of the Big Mac index. The correct options were the first and the second, right? And the first one, the demand for Big Macs is not the same across all countries. So they have mentioned that as a limitation right in the first paragraph, second sentence. So the demand for Big Macs is not as large in countries such as India as in the United States. So that is saying that the demand for Big Macs is not the same across all countries. That's a limitation in the usage of Big Mac index if you try to use it, across the world. Second, the local production and delivery costs will be different in different countries. So that information is there in the third paragraph. Overall, the price of a Big Mac will be a reflection of its local production and the delivery cost. So they are different. Okay, and it says that quite different from country to country, and that's why the Big Mac index, would be limited by it. So that's a limitation. Third one, the level of competition. The levels of competition are not the same in all countries. Now it does say that the levels of competition um, may not be representative of the country's economy as a whole. So what they are saying is that the level of competition when it comes to, let's say, fast food will be different from other products. So it doesn't represent the whole economy. It doesn't say that the level of competition is not the same in all countries. That's why that's the problem with Big Mac index. So third, that's not a selected option. Fourth, the local economists might prefer another index than Big Mac. Now, uh, nowhere does it say that the local economists will prefer something else. All it says is that the Big Mac index is limited, when it comes to considering the local factors. So this information is nowhere in the passage, so that's why it's a wrong choice. The last one, the Big Mac index does not consider the cost of essentials such as cellular telephony. Now, the second paragraph, does talk about cellular telephony, but that is as a way of, talking about different products, and what it's saying is that, why uh, different goods and services should be equal in different countries, right? Uh, so it doesn't say that the limitation with Big Mac index is that it doesn't factor in the cost of telephony. So telephony is just given as an example, but the paragraph also says uh, essential pharmaceutical products. Okay, so that's why uh, the fifth option, that's also not the correct choice. So our options are first and second. Okay, so that was the last question in this practice session. Um, if you felt that you needed more time to go through the passages, please feel free to repeat the video. Um, that there's a reason why we have kept each of these practice sets to 3 questions only, because the passages they can be lengthier and they can take time to read through, understand, and practice properly. Okay, so don't just match your options with the correct options and then just move to the next question. Spend time understanding why the correct options are correct, and why, if you made a mistake, why did you make a mistake? Were you in a hurry? Was the meaning not correct to you? Or Did you confuse it with some similar information, or was it wrong because you try to base it on your own judgment rather than uh, explicitly on what's there in the passage? Okay, so trying to get that understanding, that takes time. So it's my request to you that please put in that time. Okay, that will ensure that you get good results out of your practice. All right, so well done with that. You have now completed practice set number one. Feel free to take a break, and when you're up for it, come back and start practicing with practice set number two. All the best.